Every so often, you should be doing a max effort set on a primary compound movement like a chin-up, press, row, a squat, a deadlift, to really see what you're capable of. This doesn't have to be a 1-rep maximum. I actually prefer using AMRAPs with my athletes. An AMRAP is just as many reps as possible with a given weight. This allows you to have a little more wiggle room and just test your limits safely. And then you can use a 1-rep max calculator to get an estimated 1 RM. For those of you training with me in Push Plus, the Train Heroic app will automatically calculate this for you. So if you do an AMRAP for 5 or 6 reps, it's automatically going to calculate your 1 RM for you. And this 1 RM is nice. It's just a single number that you can track over time, and it should be going up. So it's a nice reference point. So how do you actually do the AMRAP? First, you want to start with some general cardio, get warm, get a light sweat going, do some dynamic stretches, and then you're going to go to the movement and generally start with either an empty bar or really lightweight, just to feel the movement out and groove your form a little bit. So if you're doing squats, for example, you would just use an empty bar and do maybe 10 to 15 reps. After that, you want to load on about 50% of your working weight. So you kind of estimate, I recommend doing a 5 RM. Anywhere in the 3 to 8 rep range is pretty good for an accurate estimated 1 RM. If you're doing 10, 11, 12 reps, the estimation gets a little too wonky and it's not as accurate. So generally lower reps will result in a more accurate estimate of your 1 rep max, and 5 is a good middle of the road number to shoot for. So take a guess as to what you think you could do for 5 reps. Take half of that, 50%, and do 5 reps. This is supposed to feel easy. You're just warming up and easing into the movement, helping your central nervous system wake up. You want to rest for a minute or so, then do 70% of your estimated 5 RM for about 3 reps. Rest for another minute. Then you take 90% and do 1 rep. And then after that, rest again for another minute or so, and then take your working weight, that 5 RM that you had originally estimated, and just do a single with that. This lets you feel the weight you're going to be working with and get a sense of what that's going to feel like. After that, rest 2 minutes or more, and then you're good to go for your AMRAP. I recommend using a spotter, or if you're doing something like a squat, make sure you're in a power rack with the safety pin set so you're doing it safely. And once you go for the AMRAP, you're keeping your form and technique solid. You're not letting your form go, but you are pushing to failure. Do as many reps as you can. You thought you could get 5 with it, but you might only get 3. You might get 6, 7, 8 reps. It's hard to tell sometimes, and that's why you need to do this on a periodic basis. Once you've got that number and the weight, the calculator will let you know what your estimated 1 RM is. Now, you don't want to do this every time you're in the gym. A good time to do this would be at the end of a training cycle, after deloading, so you're fully recovered. Test your lifts and see where you are. And then after your next training cycle, you'd want to test those again and see if that number is going up. The magic of testing your lifts in this way is it really covers all your bases. Whether you're the type who just grounds yourself into the dirt every session, training as hard as you can and training to failure all the time, this lets you know, well, am I actually getting stronger? Is that number going up? Because like I said before, training hard isn't enough. You actually need to be training smart. On the other hand, if you're the type who is just kind of phoning it in, this keeps you honest and lets you feel what failure actually feels like. A common misconception is that you have to train to failure to get good results. The research is very clear on this, especially for strength work, which is particularly important for table tennis athletes. Remember, strength feeds into speed and power. So you don't need to be training to failure to get good results, but you do need to know what training to failure feels like in order to accurately gauge how close to failure you're getting. In Push Plus, my team uses the RIR method, which is repetitions in reserve. So for each exercise, I tell them exactly how close to failure they need to get a good result for that exercise and that particular attribute we're going after, whether it's power or strength or hypertrophy. But for you, just to get you started, I do have a free workout program that you can download. I'm going to link that PDF in the description and probably pin it as a comment as well. So I want you to be successful. I want you to have a program. I want you to know what you're doing in the gym so that you can see that trickle down and improve your game as well. So good luck with that. check out the free program, and may the spin be with you.